don't you just go get yourself a
because this will take 2 minutes or whatever. All right. Hey brothers, this is Cam here from Hey Brother Outdoors. Just doing a quick video. I was cutting up some deer meat and I figured I'd show you guys kind of how this goes. Just making ground deer for deer burgers. So here I got a forearm that I just cut up, and this is all kind of excess meat, a lot of sinew. You can see all the silver skin and stuff like that. It doesn't agree with my grinder too much when it's that what is it, opaque, when it's that you can't see through it. You don't want to really grind it. You can try, and I skinned it off so it's very thin. You lose a little meat, but you know there's so much more meat that I got from it. So this is what it came out to be, and as you can see, there's still, there's gonna be silver skin in there, whatnot, but just small little bits like that, it's gonna go through the grinder still. And I don't even have like a super awesome grinder. Actually, the funny thing is, I use my wife's KitchenAid mixer as a grinder because she doesn't use it, so I figured I'd buy the $30 grinder attachment, and it works just fine for the small amount of deer that I do at a time. And then I just grind it. I'm probably gonna put some bacon in here later. I'm gonna put some seasoning in it right now. I'll show you when I put the bacon in to give it just a little bit of fatty content. And then with the leg bone, I'm actually gonna get a hacksaw, cut that in half, and give it to my dogs. I got 2 dogs, and they love when I give them the deer bone. You just can't give it to them after it's been cooked or boiled. Anyway, I'll get to getting some seasoning in here and show y'all what I do. We'll put some seasoning, bacon, throw it in the freezer for a couple hours to get it nice and cold but not frozen, and then we'll grind it. Alright, so also I'm gonna kind of refer you guys, I don't know if it's a plug or whatever, but if you haven't already got it, I know there's more cooking books, but this is the one that I got as my first cooking book. Stephen Ranella, I love the show Meat Eater. I'm sure if you're watching this, you've probably seen it, but such a good book, such a good read. I wish it was more recipes, but I'll be fine. Such a good book, especially if you're a new hunter and you want to learn more. He's pretty much goes in depth about every form of hunting down to what you should pack. I definitely recommend this book, and the food that I cooked out of here is amazing. Some of these are definitely worth it for when you're having guests over and you're trying to show people how good deer meat is, because a lot of people, you say deer meat and they get like, they look like a deer with the headlights in their eyes. They're like, whoa, deer meat. But you just explain to them, like, you do know that, like, I caught this deer was out in the wild, I harvested it, I'm now eating it. I don't just kill deer for fun. This is actually for my family to eat, for me to eat. It's definitely part of Circle of Life. So anybody out there that's a little on the save the planet, save the animals side, they don't realize that, we're actually using the animal for what it was intended to do, just like most people. And if they don't want to eat meat, that's fine, but that doesn't mean that the rest of us don't. So anyway, good book. I'm just pretty much gonna just eyeball all these and put them in there. So first I'm gonna start with the dry ingredients. I'm gonna add garlic powder. That's gonna be my main spice. It just goes well with all beef or red meat products. That's what I'm gonna base it around off of. Then I'm gonna give it some thyme and basil, just a little bit of each to kind of give it sort of a fresh taste. And then I'm gonna do chili powder, just the tiniest amount. I'm using what is considered a skosh, just a little half teaspoon or whatever, not even half teaspoon, like the tiniest teaspoon. And then I'm gonna finish off obviously with salt and pepper. That's standard. Then I'm gonna add the bacon and cut it into chunks after I stir up the dry ingredients, and just super small chunks or whatever, maybe 1 inch, and throw that in there, stir that up, and next it's gonna go in the freezer. I got a roast right there, and all this is when I cooked meat in the crock pot, and I just kept the juices and I freeze them, and then I'll reuse them later. These take a long time to defrost naturally. You definitely got to plan out to defrost these, but it's like liquid gold. It's got all of the nice venison kind of juices as it marinated in it. So this is something great to use when you're making like another roast. I got the roast here. I have some deer steaks. Now I got my hamburger meat, which I'm going to turn into. And actually, I think back here I got another thing of finished hamburger meat that I made. This is a 70-30 mixture. So that I'm going to save this for when I want to do the Swedish meatballs from the Stephen Ranella cookbook, which again I recommend everybody go out and get. So I got more in the outdoor freezer, but this is just what I got in the works. So these are just go to my dogs. They love them, and you can see all the nice good stuff right in the middle. Here, sweetie. Oh yeah, see, she took that one right away. Here you go. Good girl. Got this pine meadow kind of in front of my house that blocks my house from the main road right there. So I come out here and throw the scraps, but they picked my deer head clean. So this is me saying thank you, bugs, night crawlers, and all such things for doing that work for me instead of me having to get a pressure washer out and scrub all the brain matter. They went ahead and ate it. So circle of life, and I'm just kind of doing my little part. So okay guys, now I'm gonna go ahead and clean an apple, skin it, cut it. No preference of why I skinned it, I just felt like doing it. Then I'm gonna pull out the meat and check the texture of the meat. It was actually nice and frozen on the outside, and on the inside it was pretty squishy, which is nice. It was a little bit more on the cold side. I left it in the freezer for about 4 hours. You probably could get away with 2, but I just turned up my grinder power and it went right through and grind it. I'm using a coarse plate. I have a coarse and a fine plate. I'm just gonna double coarse it today. That's what I usually do. And I have the KitchenAid mixer attachment because my wife has a KitchenAid mixer for a very long time. I figured spend $30 and I can use it, and it's actually pretty good. I'll probably get a more heavy duty one this year, but slow and steady, right? So anyway, I'm gonna grind it, and once the whole grind comes out, I'm gonna mix it up with the apples, re-grind it on the coarse plate, and then to get all of the, when I re-grind it with the apples, to get all of the meat out, I'm gonna go ahead and use 2 pieces of toast, 2 pieces of bread, and then go ahead and push that bread through. That way it gets all the meat out. I saw that on a forum and it worked great. I've never done it, so today was first, and it was awesome. Next, I'll go just give you a brief walkthrough on how I would pack this meat if I were to need it for a later date, but since I'm eating it tomorrow, I'm gonna leave it in the fridge.
You should. I ran away, and I am not going back, and I am not going back.
Alright, so if I was gonna pack this, I would pack it in one of my wild game bags. I got this at Field & Stream, a pack of 100 for probably $5 to $10, I can't remember. And then you just get this little accessory stapler that you can crimp around the top, but I'm not gonna do that since I'm gonna eat this meat actually probably tomorrow. We'll do the ground beef mixture when we eat this tomorrow. Alright, so I put it back in the Tupperware, but this is good to go. So I'm gonna put this in my fridge. Alright. And we are good to go, brothers. So tomorrow I'll make the mixture, finish up and obviously cook and eat them. So stay tuned, brothers.
Yeah, so Manio is like
by Virginia.
hour and a half
you're perfect.
south of Norfolk.
Thank you for the
Yeah.
Have you ever had deer meat?
No.
Or deer burgers before?
No.
What about you?
Yeah.
You have deer
had
meat
deer
or
meat.
deer burgers?
Deer meat.
Okay, cool. So what did you think of the taste of deer meat?
I thought it was pretty good. It was pretty close to a hamburger.
Okay, well that was my next one too. Could you tell the difference between a hamburger and the deer burger?
Yeah, a little.
Okay. Positive or negative? Or just different?
I wouldn't have it again. but like it was fine. Like I finished it.
That's good.
That's more than I thought I would do. So.
So did it meet your expectations coming? Because you kind of had a negative expectations coming in.
Yeah, it was. I would say it's better than my expectations. So.
What about you?
Yeah, I would definitely order it on a menu. I thought it was way better than like ground beef, but it didn't taste as processed. It was, you know, definitely a different taste. I think the bacon and the apple helped.
Yeah, definitely. No, I'm glad I tried that. Okay. And then, would you, considering yourself an extremely light meat eater, would you recommend this to a friend? Deer meat, not my deer meat, but like just having deer meat. Would you recommend a friend trying it?
If they liked meat, yeah.
Okay, yeah, like you, an extremely light meat eater. I didn't say
like
a veggie.
me?
Yeah.
No.
No? What about you?
100%.
Okay.
Make somebody eat that again because that was delicious. Like,
Awesome. Thanks, guys. All right, brothers, that wraps up this video on cooking deer burgers. I tried the new style of adding apples in there. I thought it was fantastic. My wife actually liked it a lot. She's not much of a meat eater. She's a light meat eater. Hopefully that helps out y'all if you're planning on preparing your deer, who your target audience is. So anyway, brothers, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell, right, so you get my little videos every couple days when I actually make them and I have the time to do it. But anyway, take it easy, brothers. Don't forget, take your brother hunting and cooking.